Hey guys, and welcome to the Reality Check podcast. My name is Emil. My co-host Andrew is here as well, and we'd like to just tell you guys the story of Reality Check, how we got started, and where we're going to be headed to. And first and foremost, I guess for introductions, I'd like to introduce my co-host Andrew. He's in his early 30s. He's a very successful entrepreneur. He's a father. He's been married for over a decade now.
Yeah.
Been with your wife for over 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was very impressive. I think that's your biggest accomplishment.
I consider it so, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, you've spoken in front of thousands of people. You've helped thousands of people in business and life, including me as well. Mentored me in different things. And yeah, we've become great friends, but also partners in this awesome brotherhood movement that we have happening.
Yeah, awesome, man. And yeah, we're super excited. We love being in front of the camera, so to speak, because it's not like we're new to this. We've
Yeah,
done this many
yeah,
times. We've done many different ventures together. And this is going to be a great opportunity for you to learn about why we're putting something like this together, because it's less for us, more for you, more than anything, because we're going to be talking about problems that many people have and how to solve it. But before I get into that, I want to definitely introduce my co-host, Emil. And we've been good friends for, when did we meet? How many years ago? It was a while ago, right?
yeah.
You were
It's
like
definitely
17 when I first met you or something like that, right?
yeah. It's been at least 10 years for
Yeah, at
sure.
least a
Yeah,
decade, whatever it is. And he's
yeah,
a father, he's a
yeah,
fiance, gonna get married soon. And yeah, I mean, he has a great business. He runs a window cleaning business for over a decade.
yeah,
And so, both of us have a lot of experience in business, a lot of experience in helping people. You've also helped multiple people in life with different opportunities. And
yeah,
you'll start realizing that once you start getting into that mindset that you want to help other people, more of the things that you do in life are focused on that, not just money and finances, right? So we're gonna definitely get into it. And yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it was Simon Sinek who said, the four most powerful words you could say, 4 or 5 words, is "Let me tell you a story." Right. So I'd love for you, Andrew, to kind of reveal how you came to this as the founder of Reality Check, as like the idea came to you. How did the apple fall from the tree, if that makes
How
sense?
did the apple fall from the tree? Yeah.
Um, and how the idea came to you and the birth of this, so that we kind of like get a full picture, a lay of the land from the very beginning. But yeah,
Yeah, and I'm super excited to explain this because as many of you already are a part of what we're doing, I'm sure you just wonder like where did this come from? Because
yeah,
almost everybody I explained this to, including you, obviously thought
yeah,
it was a great idea. It just made total sense, and I'm one of those people who are like, if something makes total sense, why not bring it into play? And I find it funny that it hasn't already existed because some people try to put together what we're trying to do, but it doesn't come out the same because their motive is different,
yeah,
right? And if you have a
yeah,
different motive, then it would never come out the same. And my motive for putting this together was not financial
mm,
whatsoever. Obviously, what we're putting together is going to be a business because it has to be to a certain extent. If it's not, there's no
yeah,
way we can structure it, right? But at the end of the day, like that was not the mindset of why I came to be doing this. Because I already do sales, I already do very well financially. It's not like I did it for that purpose, right? But the story actually happened when I was actually on my way to a 1 acre property we had in Sebring, Florida, where I was building a Airbnb business and things of that nature. And it was an idea. You're driving through the forest and you're driving through like, why is it that trees and nature always make you think about life?
yeah,
You know what I mean? You got trees, you got cows over here, whatever it is. And I'm just thinking about life, just random story about, I mean, random time. I was just driving and I was with me, my wife, my daughter, and my brother-in-law. And we were just like driving and I was like, you ever just in your head, sometimes we're playing music, sometimes we're not, but a lot of the times when I'm in these deep drives, I'm not thinking about playing music. I'm just trying to like think about life. I don't know,
yeah.
whatever it
We've
is.
had a lot of those like
Yeah,
deep
yeah. Deep
conversations that go
conversations.
way deeper than they should,
You remember
about why
that?
thoughts are thoughts
Yo,
and
bro, that was one of the
God is
funnest
thoughts
conversations.
and just craziness. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, we've gotten deep into it. So anyway, like as I was driving, I was thinking about my previous experiences in life and thinking about my life in general, like what I have done, what I've accomplished, and what I have to show for what I have in life. And I have many many blessings, and I'm grateful for everything I have in life. But one of the things that like made me think about putting reality check together was the biggest problem that I believe men have today, right?
mm,
And the biggest problem that I believe men have today is that they don't have real community or real friendships on a deep level. And the ones that they do have that are on a deep level, it's always associated with a specific business, a specific job, or some type of group of people that the main reason for that relationship that they have with those people is not because of friendship, is not because of them wanting to be close to each other. It's more of because we are doing something together. We have a
Yeah.
job together. We have something together. So of course, I mean, just like anything else, like you're obviously going to become more attracted to and more close to people who you associate the most with.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, these are not associations of choice. These are associations of necessity because you obviously work with this person.
Yeah.
And that's why most of the times you become close to this person, or maybe a business opportunity. Now, of course, you do have a choice of getting close to people who you have hobbies with, but still, the same way, that should not be the reason why you develop a deep relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
And from my experience, and I'm more than sure even from you, when you go from grade school to high school, from high school to college, college to a new job to the next job, you're always changing 99% of the people you know as
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
So you never really get close or deep with anybody. And usually, if you think about who your real close friends are, they're usually just some random person that you maybe grew up with,
Yeah.
maybe some random person you maybe even had a job with before. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the only issue is that a lot of those relationships they may not be advantageous to you, because
Yeah.
if you're still best friends with your high school friend who hasn't gone far in life, and that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but now that relationship might only keep you down,
Yeah.
and then you want to separate yourself from that person, but you still want to know them but not be as close to them. So there was a lot of different problems that I saw, because I was like, okay, I remember I had a business I was involved in, great business, great friendships, great opportunities. But the second I decided to disassociate with those people, then all those relationships, 99% of them
Yeah.
dissolved.
When the element of the business went out of the
Yeah,
picture, then the relationships dissolved as well.
exactly.
Versus like you thought those relationships were gonna stay. Like I
Exactly.
felt that way before as well. Yeah.
And this doesn't just happen with business, this happened with jobs. I remember I had a job once, actually recently, and I'm an entrepreneur, so like any jobs I get involved with, it's not like I'm employed by somebody, it's more like I'm more self-employed because I do
Yeah.
sales, so I can kind of work wherever I want. But either way, same thing. I get involved in this sales job, whatever it is. I work for myself, and I work hard and do everything just like anybody else, and we get cool with people, you get close, you build relationships, all that good stuff. But then the second like you want to make a change because it's better for me, like, hey, based on everything that's going on, where I want to go in life is better over there,
Yeah.
not with you.
Yeah.
But then because for whatever reason it's taken personally, right? And now all those relationships and friendships you think that were friendships or whatever it is, they disappear. And I was like, damn, this doesn't allow men to actually get like really close with each other. And just in the society we live in today, men are have a higher expectation. I mean, men are expected to have higher standards, and there's so much expected of us that we usually never get the time to be able to build deep relationships.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
99% of the time we're working.
Yeah.
And if we're not working, we're working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
We're
Like,
expected to do some other work.
yeah, some
Yeah.
other work.
Yeah.
And if we're not doing that, then we have a small minute of time to be able to get involved in some sport or get involved in something small, or spend the rest of that time with our family. I mean, most of the people I know, see, I live a different life than most people. I do not work an 80-hour, 90-hour work week, but I can't imagine a person who does. And many people to this day do. They
Yeah.
work ridiculous schedules that do not allow them barely enough time for themselves, let alone their family. So
Yeah.
when they ever have free time, it's always family.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but that is great, but that doesn't allow any time for vulnerability. That doesn't allow any time for self growth. That doesn't allow any time for fellowshipping and relationship, because women have no problem with this for the most part. I mean, sure they do, just like anybody else, but women are more easily connected.
Yeah.
And can easily have a best friend for a long time, but men don't, because they like to push people away. They're very short sighted. They're very surface level when it comes to relationships, and I'm gonna get to it later, but without getting too deep, all these things were problems that I saw as I was driving that day. And I'm like, why is it that we cannot have like a deep community of people that are connected together without there needing to be some financial advantageous thing for the person we became relationships with? Like, for example, you're my friend. We obviously got involved we became friends through a business, but the funny thing is that even after we did business together, we were still friends. We were still cool. We still
Yeah.
like to see each other. And you know what? Guess what? Another reason why it was difficult is because I'm a super socialite. You know that,
Yeah.
right? And
Definitely.
anybody who's a socialite, you probably have a good 10, 15 friends. You know,
Yeah.
at least a good 10, 15 friends you like to see. I'm a busy person running a family, running a business, doing a job. I have
Yeah.
multiple different things I got going on. And I'm like, if you were even a close friend, if I wanted to see you again as a friend, right, just to even hang out with you for one weekend, there's only 4 weekends in a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. If I have 15, 20 friends, how the heck am I going to spend time with all 15,
There's
20
no way.
friends?
Yeah.
And like, and I don't want, I'm not going to get into this conversation now, but there's a conversation in another talk that I'll have is called the emotional bank account. But I'm like, I have no time to build that emotional bank account with you on a consistent basis. And because being men, we take it personal, like, oh yeah, you haven't seen me in 3, 4 months,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
is. It's not because I don't like you, it's because, dude, by the time I saw you, I have to see X, Y number of people. So there was never any type of organization with me hanging out with the people I know. And that's the main reason why the disassociation of friendships happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
we stopped doing business together, when we go our separate ways
Yeah.
because we don't have time for anything else. And I'm
Mm.
like, there has to be something that closes that gap so that men stop only seeing their success by what they do in their job. But the reason why they do is because that's all they have, right?
Yeah.
They never have a deeper relationship elsewhere, and they never have time to build that. And that's why they usually get involved in sports and whatever it is. And not for not to say it in a bad way, but this is the reason why most people, men and women, seek that they get the most excited and about life through other people's lives. You know, you see them in
Yeah.
sports and
Yeah.
they get all, tatted up and all like go crazy for some sports team winning because they don't have that in their life anymore, but they know other people who do, so they want to rally around that because that's the most excitement that they get for the most part. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. If you're a sports fan, I know there's many people who are sports fans who are very successful, but I'm talking about, I know people who do not have anything else going on in life, and the most
Yeah.
exciting thing in their life besides their
Yeah.
job is some sports team. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm like, you can create that in your own life. So that's kind of where reality check came into be. I was like, okay, I want to solve the problem of one, closeness and deep relationships with people, right?
Yeah.
Because the downside of most men is that I don't know if you know this, but men are twice as likely to, do bad things. Like, I can't say the word because of the algorithm of
Yeah.
YouTube, but they are the first,
Yeah.
more likely to than a woman, twice as likely,
Yeah.
you know? And I saw a study recently that really threw me off. And this is the reason why I also like, there's so many different points that I'm bringing up here, but of course, these all lead to why I put this together. And I was like, okay, how is it that there's a study that said 96% of the men in America don't have one person, not one person that they can count on, like
Yeah.
not one person that they can rely on. And if they needed anything, and I'm like, dude, who are all these people who are like, you see all these Instagram people, I got this Lambo, I got this lifestyle, I got this money, I got this girl, whatever. I'm like, you got all this, but you got not one person that you can count on.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, that like really struck a chord in me. And I'm like, you know what? It's very true. And I to this day meet many men like that. Like they
Yeah.
look like they got it all, but they don't have one real close person they could be connected to. And more than anything, men need that more than even women,
Yeah.
because I'm not saying women don't have high expectations of each other, but we as a society, men are expected to do more and be more naturally than women are.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Not saying that women do not accomplish more. Obviously, there's many women who accomplish 10 times more than any man. But what I'm saying is that as a society, as a man, you're just expected to do more and have
Yeah.
and be more. So they need, just like anybody goes through problems, you need that vulnerability. You need somebody you can connect with, because I have problems. I have things I go through. Who am I going to connect with, right? Well, if I don't have somebody who doesn't have any financial interest in me, but who is a good friend, they'll always give me the best advice. They
Yeah.
should be willing to give me the best advice because it's not like there's anything in it for them anyway, right? But if somebody did have a financial interest in me, well, of course, they're going to want to have the best advice from me. But then the second I don't want to do business with them anymore, now they're gone. So I said, we got to fix that. We
Yeah.
really have to fix that issue because I'm like, I don't want to continue spending my life building relationships with people that the only reason why we're close is because I'm doing this job with you.
Yeah. There's like one factor that connects you, and if you remove that factor, like if you go out drinking with those people all the time, if you remove the drinking part, all of a sudden you're not friends. All of a sudden you're not hanging out. That that's not a true relationship. That's not a true friendship.
Yeah.
And I think the issue has been is that people don't have a way to develop those deeper relationships that go beyond that one factor of work, business, or drinking, or a sports team, right? Because if you're not on that sports team anymore, like you almost go from friends to acquaintances now with those people, right? And sometimes you even lose that relationship completely. So it's about deepening that relationship, and I think that's what reality check really solves, is creating a deeper relationship with people that are like-minded, right? And especially for men, like you were saying, and that men can help other men versus just like a community or social media or something different. Yeah,
And
this is
social
more
media even,
specific.
sorry, yeah, social media also tries to do that, and it can go totally bad or totally good, right?
Yeah,
And what you're mentioning is right, and I was like, okay, that's why reality check does make sense because a lot of people, and I just want to kind of throw this in there. This is for anybody watching this. Like, please stop thinking that your business partner is your family, that your job person is your family.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
how this is legitimately how you get sold off into like a
yeah,
complete different mindset about what you're doing because and I've seen this multiple times. I'm not blaming any business because almost every business does it.
yeah, yeah,
Almost every job does it, and it's like, yeah, we're family, all this stuff like that. Dude, you're not family. Like, shut up, bro. You're not family. Okay. The second you quit, the second you get fired, the second they don't need you anymore, you're not family. So who's really there for you when crap hits the fan, so to speak, right?
yeah,
When things are
yeah,
not going your way in life. And of course, dude, duh. Like let's just be logical. If you're my employee and you are not replaceable or I make money from you regardless of what you do, then I'm obviously going to want to help you. Okay? That's just
yeah,
kind of like obvious. If I'm in sales,
yeah,
right? I have people who are quote unquote under me in sales that if they succeed and get sales, I make money from. Well, of course I want them to succeed. Duh, this is kind of obvious. So of course I'm going to be willing there to help them. But that like me trying to say that same person is my family is just dumb. It does not make
yeah,
sense
yeah,
because at the end of the day, I'm like, listen, I care about you and you matter to me, and it's funny because that's what the culture has to be these days. And I don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't believe in that you cannot become close to people like that, but the second you do, you better follow up even after they leave you, right? You better be
yeah,
somebody who's still going to be there after they're
yeah,
gone. And let's just be real, the truth is that that's not going to happen.
yeah,
Not going to happen because they're too busy for you and they're going to that same family aspect that they think they have with you, they'll give it to the next person who they can make money from. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So that's how I was like, okay, that's not a real relationship. That's not at least not a real friendship. So, and I'm gonna get into that in a second, but when I was in, like, just not to deviate too far from the story, and then we'll,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
is that that's my fault because I can easily be all over the place. First podcast, what do you expect, right? So, but yeah, so going back to the story of the car, all these things that I was just talking about right now were going on in my head in the car. And it
Yeah,
wasn't the first time I thought about it, by the way. I want to
yeah,
just mention that. But it wasn't the first time I thought about it. But I wanted to solve that problem. I'm like, I want a group of people I can be connected with uh, that is really close. We can build something on that has advantageous opportunities involved in it, but is not designed to be an opportunity
yeah,
for people because then once it becomes a business opportunity or a job or anything of that nature, now it decimates the whole aspect of people being real with each other.
yeah, yeah. It no
Because
longer becomes a brotherhood. Now it's about a business or an opportunity or whatever
yeah,
that
exactly.
factor is.
Like
Yeah,
I don't want anybody who gets involved to feel like, oh yeah, you got involved in this and now like you need to tell somebody else that you're gonna make money from it or something like that. That's
yeah,
not that's not the whole point of it. The whole point of it is that you get somebody involved because you believe you are in the mindset of I'm trying to really help somebody else.
yeah,
And it does not even being involved, it doesn't cost any money to be involved in reality check. There's many different ways of being involved that don't cost money, right?
yeah,
And of course we're putting together a system down the line that's gonna make it make sense to organize your life, and we're gonna talk about it down the road. But the point is that in that car drive, when I was sitting down, coming through all this, epiphany hit me. I said, I want to put together something that men can get together, right? A brotherhood, and it's what kept us involved in anything that we did before either.
yeah,
I think about like
yeah,
I remember opportunities that like legitimately nobody made money. Like legitimately, like
yeah,
there was many people. 99% of people did not make any money, and I'm like, dude, what the hell is the reason why these people would stay involved
yeah,
if there is no money here? You know what I'm saying? And it's because the brotherhood.
yeah,
That is the real thing that they wanted. They did
Yeah.
not want the opportunity. They wanted the brotherhood. They wanted the relationships. They wanted the people who can be real with them, help them out in life.
Yeah.
But there shouldn't need to be a price tag, a massive price tag involved. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and this goes across the board. I've seen this in many job opportunities. I've seen it in many business opportunities. Everything. So I said I wanted to take that factor out,
Yeah.
okay, but still give that person that opportunity to grow and change and better their life.
Yeah.
But we're obviously not a church here, okay?
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, also churches are fantastic vehicles as well. But in a church, you have to be nice to people. That's natural. But in
Yeah.
a brotherhood, you do not have to be. Like in a brotherhood,
Yeah.
I can be real with you,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter because I'm like, you know what? You're if you don't like what I have to say, then you don't like what I have to say. There's no like, we're not in an environment that like, if you are being real with me, it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
If you're being real with me, then it should help me, and if it can't help me, you shouldn't be involved. You know what
Yeah.
I say?
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be involved in this if you don't want to grow and change and become better. But at the same time, you should be cool that know that if you're coming in here, you're gonna meet real people. You're gonna
Yeah.
meet people who are not there to make money from you. You're not gonna be there because there's something they're trying to influence you to be in to do.
Yeah.
You're just there because it's real networking. It's real people talking with each other about life and whatever they're going through, and it gives you that opportunity to help somebody else. Because we all know that you're never happy in life just getting more. You're always happier by giving.
Yeah.
So, and
Definitely.
I wanted that aspect as well because I still love giving to people, and that's why even before I put this together, I've been on social media. I've been giving out free information, but I'm like, I want
Yeah.
to put something together that I can work with, that people can still come together and they can win,
Yeah.
and they can meet other people and win together. But they don't have to be in the same opportunity. They don't have to be doing the same thing. They could be doing completely different things, you
Yeah.
know. And that's where the reality check came into be. That's how reality check started. And obviously, when you were one of the first persons I actually
Yeah.
spoke to about it. I think you're like the first dude I called because I'm like, if there's anybody who I know who would like something like this, is my boy, Ramiro,
Yeah.
right? And
Definitely.
I'm glad you did because I'm like, now, obviously, fast forward. This only happened like 4 months ago,
Yeah.
and just a little snippet. Reality check just got started. Like, we actually just launched it like what, a month and a half ago, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Already
Basically.
have over 50 plus members, and we haven't even invested enough time to put it really together as much as we want to, but 50 plus members already. We already have our first event. It was
Yeah.
very successful. Second event happening at the end of this month, and there's going to be a lot of things coming from this. And when I spoke to you about it, it made total sense to you because all the problems that I'm explaining, you have those same problems.
Yeah.
And then guess
Yeah.
what? Every person I spoke to from that point forward, when I had a conversation with them, it answered that problem as well. And they was like, yo, why isn't something like this? Why
Yeah.
isn't there something like this?
Yeah. Why hasn't anybody else thought of this and done this and
Yeah.
actually implemented these ideas? For sure. Yeah.
And let me just mention that I'm not saying nobody else try to do something like this, but everybody else who puts something together like this, it is for a specific thing. It
Yeah.
is like every networking event. I'm not sure if you ever been to networking events.
Yeah.
Like,
Very few. Yeah.
yeah, well, I've been to many different networking events for different businesses, different opportunities, different get-togethers, but they all revolved around one specific thing. There's
Yeah.
always let's all get together, have some drinks, have some food, and then we have a speaker come on stage and try to sell you something or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's just usually
Usually. Yeah. Yeah.
that's like 99%. That's how it is, and that's the whole purpose of it, right? So I didn't like that either because that's a fake networking event, and I've
Yeah.
been to many networking events. How many times do you ever get together with those people again? Almost never again.
Never again.
And
Yeah.
every time you talk to somebody in a known networking event, guess what they try to do? Try to sell you what they're doing. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not. I don't want that. What's the point of that, bro? Like, if I want to do something, I'll freaking do it. I don't need you to come tell me to do it. I'll look for it myself.
Yeah.
The internet's big enough. There's too much stuff online. I can easily find anything I want to do, and not even need to talk to you about it, right? So I just want to be able to get into an environment that can have genuine people, genuine relationships, and genuine people I can help.
Yeah.
That whether I see them at the next event that we do or not, well, hopefully I do because they got value in the event. I can see that they're getting better, that they're doing better, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter that I don't make money from the fact that they are getting better in life. I don't need to make money from that. It makes
Yeah.
sense. So,
Yeah.
so that's that, right?
Yeah.
But
I think there's a mutual benefit there. It's not only just like you or I trying to benefit someone else. It's those people benefiting us too. For example, just like a quick example, one of my friends was a personal trainer, was just giving me tips while we were at the event about my workout routine, right? And I was able to benefit him with the networking in the group and everything like that, and create some good connections between different brothers, part of the brotherhood. But he also helped me out, right? So it's this kind of like round table a benefit that we can all benefit and help each other, and you don't get that anywhere else. because you're involved in a like I was saying, like that one factor, right? Like drinking, that's your one factor, and that's what you do together. And when you're drinking, that's kind of what you do. That's it, right? It doesn't go
You
deeper
just
than
drink
that.
and BS about random stuff
Yeah,
or random things happen. You talk about P Diddy and the baby oil or whatever it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
and your wife,
Or you talk
whatever.
about the sports team, and that's cool and all. That's good, but it doesn't get deeper than that. It's just like basic surface level things, and your relationship doesn't get deep enough to be able to like influence each other and help each other and grow from that, and then have that benefit together where you can sort of like multiply whatever your journey is, wherever you're trying to get to, right? So that's like a small example, but also like when you called me, this just solved a lot of problems. Like I run a window cleaning business. I work for a different window cleaning company. I I consult businesses on the side as well. So there's a lot of places where my time is going, right? I'm a father. I'm a fiance. That's a whole other job, right? And as a man, I'm expected to do all those things, but I also want to have good relationships with my friends, right? I haven't had time to hang out with some of my friends in months, right? We talk on social media or wherever, but when
It's not
this
the
came
same.
about, yeah,
It's not
it's
the
just
same.
not
Yeah.
the same. It's very surface level. It's very shallow. When this came about, it just answers that for me. It's like, okay, we got organized events. We got a place where we could all connect, where we could share our success, where we could set goals. We can help one another, stay accountable to one another, right? And that answered so many of my issues of like not being able to hang out with my friends. Now it's like, okay, well, we have this day, it's organized, and I met up with four of my friends at that one time, and we were all happy that it happened. We were all excited. We all had a great time because of reality check, right? So like, I love that it answers so many problems that we've had. Yeah.
So what you were mentioning is extremely important because this is the thing. Life is short. Okay, there's no question about it. Like as I'm getting older, I'm like, dude, time flies. My daughter's almost 2 years old now already. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I remember I just conceived her like the other day, right? So, and I'm like, but I think about my experiences, right? And life is all about experiences.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, everything you do is so that you can eventually attain an experience. But the truth of life is that the majority of life, you are just working to get those experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
99% of your time is just to get a 1% experience. So, you hear, I'm sure you heard it most of the time, don't worry about the destination, you need to enjoy the journey,
Yeah.
and I understand that. But it's totally true. You do have to like the journey. But the issue is that we are told we need to like the journey, but we are not shown how to do the journey. We are not
Mm.
shown that. There is
Yeah.
no blueprint for the journey. And most people who their journey is just living their everyday life, they're doing the same things and they're not. And it's not that they don't have the money, it's not that they don't have the time, is that they don't have the organization, right?
Yeah.
So just like you mentioned, you have friends you haven't seen them in 4 months, whatever it is, or something like that, and then now you got together in an event. Well, I one of the questions I ask anybody who before they even get involved in what we're doing is I say, when was the last time you did anything adventurous? When was the last time you had a really good
Mm.
experience that was extremely adventurous as a man, a wild at heart experience, right?
Yeah.
Like, simple things like bungee jumping, skydiving, I don't know, like mountain biking in the woods, or hiking, anything that's adventurous, that's fun, that things that you see other people do on Instagram and you just love reposting or liking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When was the last time you did that, right? I don't care about you seeing other people doing it, and that, like, do you really want to live your life just watching other people do these things, or do you want to do them yourself, right? And I'm like, I thought about myself. I'm like, dude, I got bread. I can travel if I want to. I can do whatever, right? Like, if I wanted to do these things, I can. But the only issue is that what I'm gonna do, call my friend and be like, hey, Jimmy, you want to go rock climbing with me? And like Saturday evening, like, it's just weird,
Yeah.
right? Most people don't do that. They will not get together with their peers or their, because it's too much work. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this won't work for me. And there is no organization around these activities. So most of the times men just never do these things. They never do something that's simple. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that it requires a lot of energy to do these things. It's just, you're not going to do it by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to do it only if you have a good group of people. And you're going to do it only if you have a group of people you actually like doing it with.
Yeah.
So when I asked you, I was like, when was the last time you did anything really adventurous and stuff like that? You're like, not really. And most of the
Yeah.
times, most men, they do it with their spouse. And that's fine. Everybody, I understand you love your spouse, but your spouse does not replace a brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My wife does not replace having the relationship of a brotherhood. It's a different type of relationship. You
Yeah,
need both, you know?
definitely.
You just
Yeah.
need both 100%, right? So I'm not gonna say, like, for example, jet skiing. I always tell people just go jet skiing. Well, going jet skiing with my wife is cool, but it's not the same as going jet skiing with a bunch of boys and just going crazy. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a different thing. So
It's a different experience, and
exactly.
they understand things differently. Like, just quickly to interrupt, there was a great example on Instagram that I saw, just men talking over like a fire, and he was saying that, like, he told his wife, "Oh, we need to save money because we want to buy a house or whatever. So just let's cut down on, like, getting Starbucks every 5 days a week. Let's do like 2 days a week or something like that." And he was saying how, like, that makes sense to a man. Like, when we say that to each other, it just makes sense. It kind of ends right there. But when you're talking to your wife or your fiance or whoever, to them that's like, oh my god, like, we're broke. Like, he loses his job. Like, what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
this heart sinking thing. So it's
yeah.
like you got to have those conversations with people who are kind of on the same wavelength. And for men specifically, that's really important because that it's just way easier to do those things because we get each other in a different kind of way, right? So it's recognizing the differences and understanding that there's benefits in having that relationship. Yeah,
It's a different type of relationship. It
yeah,
just is. And even getting deep in deeper topics with men is usually funner when you do it in these like excursions or experiences and
yeah,
things like that. Because then after you have your fun and you talk and you get into life or whatever it is.
yeah.
So when I was mentioning, I'm like, hey, I wasn't doing that many fun activities. I'm like, there's so
Mm.
many things I freaking want to do, and I'm like, and it's not that I do not have friends I can deal with. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that if it's so difficult to organize these things because there's always going to be another pressing issue that will steal that time away.
Yeah, yeah,
And if you
yeah,
don't plug it in
yeah,
2 3 months in advance, you will find something else to do, or you would do nothing that's actually cool. And most people, let's just be real, most people, they spend their time. Most men, they spend their time. Oh, it's Friday, Saturday night. All right, I'll go get a beer somewhere. Go get a drink. Go get well, what? Let me go on Google and let's see what's going on
yeah,
around my area. You know what I mean? There's no organization around their like fun activities.
yeah,
And I'm like, because they do that, they just end up doing the same thing, or they just get involved in some random sport and just play that every weekend. It is not like new experiences, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So what I
It's
wanted to put,
limited.
yeah, it's limited. I wanted to put something together that on a monthly basis, there's a really cool experience that we all can do. That you have enough time, you know about it in advance to put your money together, and it's not like we're gonna do crazy expensive things
Yeah,
yet, right? But
yeah. Eventually.
yeah, eventually for sure. But the point is that like extra $100 a month to if you had $100 a month, most of the time that money just gets spent on random things over the course of the month. But
Yeah,
if you take that same $100 and you plan it out, I'm like, okay, now we can all as a group go jet skiing somewhere, you know,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that is way better and way funner
yeah,
than doing it all randomly. So these are just different little aspects of like why what we're putting together that most men don't do, and they don't end up having a lot of fun in their life. They don't end up enjoying the journey,
yeah,
and they look at their past 3 months. Man, all I did was work. For what? How many stories have I heard about that men lose their spouse, lose their relationship with their kids,
yeah,
all because of work, all just to get another dollar bill? And I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, from experience, obviously, I can say from experience, all right, that women do not care about that. They're not
yeah,
gonna care about that down the line. Yes, listen, as long as you got security, they can buy their Starbucks, okay,
yeah, yeah.
and not have it broken down, right? I'm just saying, right? But the point is that there's a certain level that matters to them.
Yeah,
If that After that level, it doesn't matter how much finances you have. It doesn't like that level needs to be equipped with time. It needs
yeah,
to be equipped with you giving them time. It doesn't matter. You can sell them whatever you want to sell, the story you want to sell, to say anything, but they still want that time. And
yeah,
that's just like, so most men, they don't have time. Because they work, they spend time with their spouse, and then they never end up getting to build anything, right? So I just want to get into a couple of different levels of relationships. So most people, there's two different types of structures for relationships. And many people get these two intertwined.
yeah,
And this is the reason why they have the most problems, right? So the first structure, okay, is the structure for acquaintances and coworkers.
mm,
Okay?
yeah,
Acquaintances and coworkers. The structure of those relationships encompass three things. One is activity,
yeah,
okay? The second is expectation,
mm,
and the third one is delivery. And let me explain, right? So an acquaintance or coworker, the activity is something that has kept you two together. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
It could be a sport, it could be your job, it could be whatever, just like what you mentioned earlier, right?
yeah,
And the second one is expectation. So depending on, and I'll use a story actually. I'll use a story to explain this. You
Yeah.
have a friend named Joe, right? Joe's a really cool guy. You and Joe always like to get together at least twice a month to go fishing.
Yeah.
You and Joe go fishing twice a month, like for the past 2 years. He's your neighbor, lives like not too far from you. He has his boat. It's expected that you go fishing twice a month, right?
Yeah.
So then, what's the activity? The activity is fishing. The expectation is twice a week, and
Yeah.
the delivery is the fact that you are actually doing those things, right?
Yeah.
That's the finishing product, that you are actually doing those things every 2 weeks.
Mm.
Now you have a life problem, okay? Work. It just so happened that you're about to give birth to a child, and your job is expecting you to get a promotion, and now you're expected to do 3, 4 more things in your schedule that absolutely do not allow you to go fishing every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, for the next 2, 3 months, you see Joe maybe once in 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You've affected the activity, the expectation, and the delivery of that relationship. Now, because of that, after those 3 months have changed, and you try to get back into that,
Yeah.
because being a man and your relationship was built on a shallow foundation to begin with, okay,
Yeah.
now you can never rebuild that the same way it used to be. And now he starts acting funny, or he starts changing on you.
Yeah.
You don't know why, but you've never built enough of a deep relationship with him that he actually understands that he feels comfortable or vulnerable enough to say, you know what, Emil, I really felt hurt when you couldn't hang out with me,
Yeah.
for those 3 months. What man would say
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean? Like, what man would feel comfortable saying that to you?
Yeah. It
You
has
have to
to
be
be
really,
already like
you
a
have to
good
be,
relationship
yeah, you get what
for
I'm trying to
that to
say?
happen. Yeah.
So they're going to be like, and because of that now, that's the reason why I haven't hang out. If we were, if the foundation of your relationship, if the structure of your relationship was not an acquaintance and a friend,
Yeah.
because that was never a friendship, sorry, an acquaintance and a coworker.
Yeah.
That was never a friendship.
Yeah.
That was never a friendship. That was a structure. Most people are building friendships
Yeah.
on the structure of an acquaintance and a coworker.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
And then they wonder why they don't ever have deep connections with each other.
Yeah.
That is not a friendship, okay? Let's talk about the structure of a friendship. Our one, values.
Yeah.
Okay? The second one is vulnerability.
Mm.
And the third one is selflessness. Okay?
Okay.
Reason being is because values, meaning that I think about just this, me and you, right?
Yeah.
Well, why is it that we still stood friends? Because even though we weren't working together.
Yeah.
Because we weren't friends because of the three activities that acquaintances and coworkers are. We have the same values in general. That's why we said friends.
Yeah.
2, vulnerability. We've been friends long enough that we can be vulnerable with each other.
Yeah.
To about life, about whatever's going on. If you had a real problem, you would feel comfortable enough to talk to me about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We've built that. It takes time to build that, right? In general, right? And the third thing is selflessness. It means that every time we're meeting up or doing something together, our mindset is not like, what can I get from meeting with Emil? That's not what my thought process is. I'm literally like, hey, I'm a meal with Emil. I like hanging out with Emil, so we can be, what can I do to help Emil, or even, or build this even better. So those 3 foundations are what friendships are built on. And there's obviously a lot more, but these are just surface, these are just enough for you to understand the difference of the structure of a coworker acquaintance and a structure of a real friendship. And I'm telling you right now, bro, I'm just letting you know, I've been involved in many different businesses, organizations, jobs, and everything. All these things, 99.9% of the people, they're all built on structure of acquaintance and coworkers.
Yeah.
And they are acting as if they are friends and friendships, and they're not.
Yeah.
You have not built that with each other for the most part. You have not built that with each other. And that separation is one of the biggest problems that people face today. So going back to the story with Joe, now you see why Joe's not your friend anymore. And this is the reason why when you go from high school to college to your job, and job to the next job, almost all your relationships die.
Yeah.
There, right? So with reality check, as you start building these relationships and you start building, as you start going to these events on a monthly basis, as you start going to, there's 2 different events. There's the fun event, that's going to be something new every single month on average to be a fun event, the networking event. You're going to have enough time to build relationships with the same people who are going to be going to these same events that you are not working with. They're not in your same, normal sphere of influence.
Yeah.
That they're not close enough yet that even if you mention something that was vulnerable, they don't even know you enough for the most part to feel some type of way about it, right?
Yeah.
So you could be real with them, Because let's say if I'm more successful in that area in life that they are struggling with, they would be more open to be vulnerable with me about it because they don't know me enough that they
Yeah.
don't feel weird about telling me that I can potentially help them with. But then that'll bring us closer together. And then now, as we build that relationship,
Yeah.
that the foundation of that relationship started not on activities and execution and all these things that I mentioned that most people are trying to build friendships on. It was
Yeah.
on values, it was on vulnerability, and it was on selflessness. They because the selflessness comes from the me giving to that person who needed help. The vulnerability comes from the person who needed help and get it from me. And obviously we have the same values because they're asking me
Yeah.
about something that they're trying to get better in their life. That's their values.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get me? And
Yeah.
when a relationship is built like that, that relationship will absolutely grow into a tree, not just a little
Exactly.
small root. So
Yeah, definitely. And like you were saying, the values will match up, but also like the activities are going to be different. So you're going to have experiences that are different all the time, and you're having these experiences with these same people. So the relationship just has more time to grow and build into something that's deep instead of being so shallow that it's only that one activity. Like you were saying, like I've had jobs where I swear these people sold me on being family, right? Where we're like, okay, like we're so tight, we're gonna be family like forever or whatever it is. And then when the job wasn't the right fit anymore, and let's say I had to leave and take another job or whatever, or go back to running my business, that relationship got cut off. It went from talking every single day and having moments of expectation and delivery, like you were saying, to nothing at all, because that one factor disappeared. Right, that activity that we shared, that the whole relationship was built on. I thought it was a friendship, but it was really an acquaintance, a coworker kind of shallow relationship. Right. So when you see that happening, like I've realized that this is a problem that a lot of people run into, and I'd rather put my energy into the brothers part of our brotherhood and develop those relationships, because I know next month I'm gonna see them, and we're gonna do something else, and we're gonna have fun, and we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all looking to get better. We're all looking to improve and self-develop, and that relationship is just going to be more valuable down the road. So even if right now it might be, in shallow waters, it's gonna get deeper, and I know it's gonna get built on the right foundation, like you were saying. All right, and I think that's so so important, and it's missed, and a lot of people are confused which relationship bucket they're in with the people that they associate with. And yeah, I felt hurt. I felt personally hurt. I was just like, well, like, why is this person no, like, we went from every single day conversations to nothing at all. And that's a big shift. And now that I know and I can see the difference between the two, it puts me in a position of like, okay, like I know I just have to spend my time with the right people in the right place, um, and invest myself with the right relationships, right? Rather than just wasting that on somebody who's going to disappear if we don't work together anymore or something like that. It's so much deeper, it's so much better, and it creates the right values and the right kind of success in your life where like you just feel better because I know, okay, I'm going to have these solid relationships. I feel better about my future rather than having those kind of shallow relationships where I just don't feel safe, right? Like where I'm going to be or who I'm going to be with or what I'm going to be doing in the future. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving being a part of this and creating this and developing this and how it's been evolving and growing, as we went on.
I
Um,
mean, more men like every it's like people are literally joining on the bucket loads like
yeah,
every day, like
yeah,
everybody we get to share it with. And just to mention a little bit about what you're saying, because some people listening to this are like, especially men, obviously,
mm-hmm.
oh, this sounds like weak stuff, weak sauce stuff, or like being open, whatever. I'm like, dude, meet some very successful people and they all will tell you that they have this side of themselves and they
Yeah,
have people that they can be like this with, and that's what's allowed them to grow to
yeah,
that point. And I'm not just talking about money. I can care less, because at the end of the day you can be a multi-billionaire,
yeah,
and if you don't have real good relationships, it means nothing. I can't tell you how many stories from the past. I forgot, there was a story back in the day, I forgot the exact story, but there was like the most successful five people in the world. They all ended up dying broke, and they all ended up uh, killing themselves and things of that nature,
yeah,
because they had it all, but they lost it all getting it all. And I'm
yeah,
like, that's not the whole point. There has to be a balance. I'm not saying you can't aim for it all, But why does aiming for it all always mean financially?
Yeah.
You know, aiming for it all should be the whole pie of life, and we're trying to teach people, and we're teaching men how to have the whole pie of life, and still also get good opportunities. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people are also saying, "Well, this sounds all good and dandy, but it might sound like something that's just a whole friendship type of thing." No, no, it's definitely not. There's definitely going to be opportunities involved, but it's going to be more legitimate opportunities, not just opportunities that like I'm only here to help you because of my opportunity. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want people like that
Where it's
involved.
shallow again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want people like that involved. If you're only going to get involved to like try to sell your idea to somebody and
Yeah.
that's the only value you bring to the table, then this shouldn't be something you're involved in. You should be involved in. But if you do get involved in this type of group, which the caliber of person I am, the caliber of person that you are,
Yeah.
and already the caliber of people that we're attracting, we are going to attract people who want to get better and want to give
Yeah.
more than they just want to get. And guess what? You will get good opportunities through this because I mean, just already involved. I already have some people who are uh, real estate investors.
Yeah.
I have people who are loan officers and know how to be able to help people get fantastic loans. I have people who have multiple properties. I have some people who are retired because of different opportunities that they have already done that have made them a lot of money. I
Yeah.
have multiple different entrepreneurs already involved, company
Yeah.
owners like you and myself. I'm like, dude, we have so many different people involved already who are already successful in the financial
Yeah.
like sense. So the fact that you just being around those people and them not trying to sell you their idea, you're gonna get a lot of value just from being around that. And
Yeah.
that's another that brings us to the next topic that matters is that most men don't know how to build their social capital, right?
Yeah.
I was raised in the projects, I was raised in the hood, so to speak, and all those men, their social capital was each other, right?
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it, right? Like that's what they wanted, but unfortunately, that usually just leads to a lot of crime and a lot of their brotherhood was their gangs, right?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
brotherhood.
Yeah.
That's a freaking brotherhood. Matter of fact, that brotherhood is usually better than most brotherhoods because they follow through with everything they say they're gonna do, and they do crazy things and it's whatever. So I'm like, how can we shift that energy
Yeah.
from people like and me obviously left that scene, but I'm like, how can we shift that energy to like higher social capital? And I'm like, well, if you take anybody who has less in life or is expecting less, pluck them out and put them into an environment like the reality check brotherhood,
Yeah.
they're going to be associating naturally with people who are thinking higher. They have a higher vibration of thought. So
Yeah.
they're going to be implanting new fantastic ideas to the people involved. And now, because of that association, they will seek a new opportunity. They might look for a new opportunity. They might even want to potentially get involved with any one of these people if they have an opportunity. I can't tell you how many
Yeah.
people we already work with that are already employers
Yeah.
looking for new people. And if I found somebody, if I was looking for somebody to hire, who would I hire? Some random person I don't know who just puts a job on LinkedIn, or somebody who's already been involved in a brotherhood for the past 3, 4 months. I see what they're doing. I see how they're growing. I see them changing. They already have a better opportunity to work with me. So down the line, there's going to be a good opportunity for job opportunities, business opportunities,
Yeah.
because just because of the association.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be designed for that. But that's going to be one of the serendipities when it comes to creating financial success, this thing should be something that creates a lot of serendipities for you.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
it shouldn't be the reason why you get involved, but it's one of those perks that just will flow because guess what? All the type of people who are getting involved are doing well in one area or another.
Yeah.
So there's no way you're gonna be involved in this and not do well in the next like 3 to 5 years. It's impossible because I'm like, unless you just come to an event and don't learn anything and don't meet anybody of caliber and just do the same thing, which you can do too. That's totally fine if that's what you want to do. But guess what? If you want to grow your social capital, get to meet people outside of your sphere of influence, that's what we're putting together. And I'm
Yeah.
looking for, and I'm getting a lot of people involved actually who are doing very well. They're
Yeah.
doing very well financially because they don't have that, bro. They do
Yeah.
not have it. You think that they have it. They look like they have it. They got the nice car. They got the nice house, but they don't got no group. They have no good people to associate with.
Yeah.
All just shallow level, acquaintance relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. All because of like that one factor, that one activity that they do with those people. But when it gets deeper like that, the success just multiplies, right? Where there's accountability to somebody else who is just as successful or even more successful, you start creating more success for yourself, right? You're the accumulation of the people that you surround yourself with. And this is an easy way to just surround yourself with already successful people without having to go out looking and trying to find the right thing. Because oftentimes when you're trying to force a good association, you end up putting yourself in positions where uh, there's an activity involved, right? Where you're only getting let's say, the mentorship from this successful person because you're helping them with their business or something like that.
But then that ends up
Whereas,
leading to a lot of manipulation more than anything else.
exactly, yeah,
And I'm not saying they all do it personally directly because that's what they're trying to do, but it's natural. I mean, like at the end of the day,
yeah,
why wouldn't I? If I'm running a business and somebody's involved in my business, and if they can do something that makes me more money, it's kind of hard to not try to have them do that. I'm trying to say it's just
no,
kind of like, well, we're running a sales organization, so like if you sell more products or buy more products, or whatever, then it makes me more money. Then yeah, of course, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make you buy, sell more, whatever it is. That's just natural in any sales environment. I'm in solar.
yeah,
I've done different type of sales, and I'm like, dude, it's all the same thing. If I can sell a bigger system,
yeah,
I'm going to, if it makes sense for the customer. But guess what? A lot of people, if it doesn't make sense for the customer, they still might. Well, you willing to get this much? Well, go ahead.
yeah,
It's gonna make me more money.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, we don't want that.
yeah.
We don't want that.
We're building this from the right values from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So that way, no matter what, the foundation is solid. The foundation is very clear and clean at the end of the day, and we're gonna get the best results from it. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like what I want is people getting better in life because they're involved in this.
Yeah.
Okay, they're getting better, they're doing more, and they're following their path to success, not the path that I'm trying to carve for them.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody trying to carve a specific path for people, because that is manipulation. No
Yeah.
matter how you look at it, I'm sorry, but it just
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
If you are carving a specific path for somebody that is gonna make you more money,
Yeah.
then that is manipulation.
Yeah.
Now, do not get me wrong. Obviously, now you might be like, "Oh, that sounds what's that word that's like, uh, I forgot the word. It's like because it sounds like what we're doing is similar, right?" I'm like,
Mm.
no,
Yeah.
no, what we're doing is not similar, because if what we're doing is you can be involved in reality check for free. You don't have to pay $1 to be involved in reality check. There will be levels of different things that you can pay to be involved with,
Yeah.
and that's totally fine, just like anything else.
Yeah.
But if you don't choose to do that, I guarantee you that you'll get enough value just because you are literally a part of reality check. Whether
Yeah.
you're following us on social media, watching this podcast.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, this podcast alone should be more than enough information to help you grow a lot and
Yeah.
kind of decide the relationships and make decisions. And more importantly, bro, if I want people to know how to make better decisions, right?
Yeah, definitely.
With who they let influence them. We live in a world today that everybody's trying to influence you. Everybody's trying to influence you,
Yeah.
one way or another. Whether they're using the sex sells type of way to influence you,
Yeah.
okay, or they're using the business opportunity to try to influence you, the job, the money, the cars. There's somebody trying to influence you. And guess what? Yes, we are trying to influence you.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that we're influencing you in a way that is not designed to be manipulative, and not designed to be advantageous for us at the expense of you or the expense of your finances whatsoever. Because
Yeah.
if anything that we're putting together does not make sense financially, then you should not take advantage of it.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and the cool thing is that there's nothing even set up in a way that will allow you to do that.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? So,
Yeah,
so
I think reality check is more than anything a place where you could come and get the tools to progress yourself forward in your journey, whatever that is, right? If you're trying to be a more masculine man, great. We have those tools. We're going to lay out a foundation. If you're trying to create better friendships, if you're trying to create better relationships, great. Again, we have the tools, the environment, the events, the place for you to do that and take advantage of those tools, right? And like Andrew was saying, yeah, some of the tools might have a small paywall, right? But obviously, like anything else, if you think about it, it just requires at least something to create good value. So if we're going to create great tools for you to access, then there will be a small cost to that. And that's with anything else, right? Like anything that you do, you want to get a university education and you want to be at the highest level of your job, then you have to pay for that schooling, right? And it's kind of a similar thing here, but we're just looking to pay for the logistics, right? Just to cover ourselves, so that way we're not completely going out of pocket, but it's creating a good environment that can improve again and again and again, so that you have more tools, so that you have more success down the road.
And I want to make it totally clear, because I believe a lot of people are not transparent about anything that they put together, right? They just like they say things in a way that don't explain transparency. This is not a nonprofit opportunity, right?
Yeah.
This is not meant to be a
Yeah.
nonprofit. Everything here, definitely, yeah. Are we going to make money? Sure. But if we're creating value, then we deserve to make money. That's just the way
Yeah.
businesses are designed, right? When you go to Chick-fil-A and you buy a chicken sandwich and you're enjoying your chicken sandwich, right? You
Yeah.
never think about the owner of Chick-fil-A and saying, "Oh my God, he's making like $5 from
Yeah.
it."
No
No,
matter how Christian or connected to religion they
this is
are, at the end of the day, they are making
they are
money.
making money, right?
Yeah, that's the whole
So
point.
if
Yeah.
we're adding value, then it makes sense for it to make money, right? If we are
Yeah.
not adding value, then the good thing is that this is designed that you don't have to spend money if it
Yeah.
doesn't, if you don't believe the value is there. And that's what I love about it. It's not
Yeah.
like you, in order to be my
Everything is
friend,
optional. Yeah.
exactly. You don't need to pay me to be my friend, right? You don't need to pay me to be involved in what I'm doing, because then now that's the only way you can, make money from it. So
Yeah. 100%.
so let's talk a little bit about, right? Because now we kind of already covered the basis of reality check.
Yeah.
Uh, we covered basically what's the biggest problem that people are facing and why this is a solution. So let's just cover a little bit about what's involved for the people who will, well, what's included for anybody who does get involved, and at what level, and just kind of wrap it up there so that people can understand why it makes sense to be a part of this. Because if it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. But if it makes sense, then reach out, DM us, Instagram us,
Yeah.
let us know, how this can help you. And the cool thing is that I want to give a little vision as well about like where I can see this going
Definitely.
and where
Yeah.
it is going to go because of the way that it's already growing, right?
Yeah.
So a couple of things, right? One is your social capital, right? Many, like I said, I don't come from an environment that has a lot of people who I can really grow myself from. Okay, once you come to one of our events or even get connected with our Discord, get connected with our social media, primarily our Discord. I would say
Yeah.
there's one place that you really should connect with if you really
Definitely.
want to learn more about us. Get connected with our Discord. And yeah, we play games and we do other things just like anybody else, but
Yeah.
more of anything, our Discord allows you to, one, get an accountability partner.
Yeah.
We connected with somebody so you can directly on a weekly basis have somebody that you're gonna write to and basically hold you accountable. Everybody needs that, because if
Yeah.
you don't, you just flow. You don't follow through. Okay. Second thing is you're gonna get connected with our social media page, right? Because we're putting a lot of content from really, really good information. Emil is actually the one who's really heading the social media page, and he's doing a great job with it. A lot of people are really giving us responses, and we're getting actually a lot of people involved because of the Instagram page,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. Okay. Three, you're going to see the podcast, right? This is going to be one of many podcasts that we're going to put out that's going to add a lot of value to you. I hope it does add a lot of value to you. And we have our reality check website, right? Which is going to be another place that you can learn a lot from. If you really want to learn everything we said in this podcast
Yeah.
and just read through it, it's on our website.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is therealitycheck.net.
Yep.
Right? Go to therealitycheck.net. You'll see who we are, what we're about. You'll learn. We have even a little university that we're building over there, so you learn more about us. And I know that we're gonna put our subscription in another platform, which I'm explaining in a minute. But what are you getting if you did get involved in a subscription, right? Well, one, okay, there's a networking event that we're gonna be doing once a month. Our goal is to design this networking event to be in different places, different locations every single month, and it's not just gonna be in one city, okay?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
cool thing is that once there's anywhere from 4+ members in any given general location, we're gonna be hosting networking events in that area. So, for example, we already
Yeah.
hosted our networking event in New York. Right, it had 20+ people who were RSVP. 10+ came out, which is exciting, and we have another one happening in Miami because we have more than 10 people in Florida. We have one happening in Miami later this month. We have, I think, 3 or 4 people already in Atlanta, Georgia. Once
Yeah.
it has like another 2, 3 more people, we're gonna have a networking event there.
Yeah.
I have 1 or 2 people in Canada already, right? So the idea is that there's gonna be networking events in your city. So wherever you are, reach out to us. If you have a group of 3, 4 guys, 5, 6, 7 people, we're gonna help you get involved with the program, and also be to help you organize these events. And eventually, you could probably be the person designing and putting together the events, because we don't need to. We don't. Our goal is not to be in charge of all that. It's just to help organize that through our system, right? The second thing we're gonna be having networking events. I'm sorry. The second thing we're gonna be having is we're gonna be having a fun activity every single month, and these are gonna be things that are gonna be designed in like to do really cool things. I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's rock climbing, jet skiing, anything. We're going to be doing really fun activities every single month that you know about 3 or 4 months in advance, so you can get your boys, anybody who's part of Reality Check involved, okay, to come through and do that activity. And guess what? We already have the one we have upcoming is gonna be in Miami. It's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
fun. It's gonna be. I think I already
Yeah.
have like
We're
8
going to
guys.
Muscle Beach, so
Yeah,
we're
we're
gonna
gonna.
enjoy that for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna be working out
Um,
topless on Muscle Beach. Why not? You know what I mean? Just enjoy ourselves. And
yeah,
we have a
it's a
whole
good
dinner
place.
planned out. We have we was potentially we're gonna do a boat ride on Sunday. We have a lot of stuff planned out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's just gonna be us guys just having a good time and having a good time with none of the nonsense that Miami has to offer.
Yeah.
We're not about that life, just so you know. I mean, we are not about that life, so that's
Clean
not what.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, clean fun, clean fun. Married man,
Yeah.
married, about to
Yeah.
be married man.
Basically, yeah.
Not the married life, not the unmarried life, Miami. But you know what? Everybody likes Miami. It's a good place, a fun place, and you've never been there, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have a good time there. It's gonna be exciting. What else we have to offer? We're gonna be having educational programs
Yeah.
on. We're gonna be using we're gonna be using the Skool platform. Okay, if you guys do not know Skool platform, don't worry about it. It's gonna be in the link in the description below. You'll
Yeah.
see our Skool platform. We're gonna be having different teachers from different areas of success explain their topics of success. As far as so if you're trying to get your relationship better, right? We have a course on that, right? If you don't even know how to build relationships, in my personal opinion, today's society knows nothing about building relationships. I don't care if you know how to get a girl and mac a girl. That doesn't mean you know how to build a relationship. Okay, I've been married for over 10 years, been in a relationship for 16 years, and most of the people I'm around, they all have this high level of relationships. Most
Yeah.
of them been around 5, 10, 15 years. If that's what you truly want, that's what you're gonna learn here. You're not gonna learn about how to put a girl in bed. You can just learn that from rap videos from Drake or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about how to actually have a real relationship, one that you're gonna be more happy about than just all over the place like most people are. Okay, there's gonna be one on how to be able to get your credit right so you can be able to get high level loans, right? This is just one example. We have a guy who,
Yeah.
really cool guy. You'll hear about him and has he has a Lamborghini, he has a Rolls
Yeah.
Royce, he has
He's very successful in
very
what he does.
successful,
That's for
has
sure.
multiple people who he's helped
Yeah.
get business loans, and we're gonna have a whole course on how to get higher level loans for whatever you need. We're gonna have budgeting courses. We're gonna have courses on so many different things.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be taking suggestions from people for what they want to learn. And we're going to
Yeah.
find somebody in the brotherhood in that area of success and create a course on that so you can learn from there. And you get all this. You get the Discord page. I mean, what else do you get? Is there anything else I'm missing?
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah. The Discord page, right? Access to all the information that we provide. Um, and that connection. I think the most important thing out of all of this is like from the Discord and from the events is that connection, the brotherhood, the friendships, the accountability, right? These are the non-tangibles that will impact your life um, moving forward. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you didn't get involved in the school program, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
You still can access us through Reality Check's website, Brotherhood. There's so many different ways of getting involved,
Yeah.
even if it's not through the program. Because you might not be able to go to events, and that's fine. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't even want to go to events, but just from the school alone, if you wanted to get involved, you're gonna learn so much just from that. It's gonna be worth it just on the school alone because
Yeah.
of all the different teachers we're putting together.
Yeah.
Because our goal is to design a program that you can go from zero to a fantastic life
Yeah.
through any vehicle that you choose.
Yeah.
Not the one that we're not deciding or trying to influence you on which one to choose. We're
Yeah.
going to have all the resources available to make it a more organized way to figure out how to get your life right, your finances, but more importantly, your relationships. And the brotherhood is put together so we can have a good group of men because every man, you can hear this from anywhere, every man has a group of men that they are connected with on a high level who are helping them get to where they want to go. Okay, not just one mentor in life that most people do. They just have one guy or one girl or whatever. Listen, bro, one person is not enough. Okay, you need a
Yeah.
whole a tribe. What's it called? A tribe of mentors, right? You need a
Yeah.
tribe of mentors. Okay, you don't
Yeah.
need just one person who is gonna give you the decisions on everything in life. The only one person who should be giving you decisions on everything in life is God.
Yeah.
That's the only person. There's
Yeah.
the one person who should be giving you what to do and everything in life, in my personal opinion, right? But when it comes to different areas of your life, you're going to be having a solid brotherhood. It's going to help you build deep connections with people, and this is the reason why Reality Check just makes sense. Okay, and I didn't put this together to be my thing. I don't want it. I don't want it to be my thing. It's
Yeah.
just something that I came up with. But I have so many other people who are getting involved who are greater minds, and I want people who are doing better than me, have better lifestyle, have better everything, so that they could be the ones to build this. Because I want this to be put together so that it could build those relationships and people can, and we could start seeing the change in the trend of men who don't have other people they can be accountable to and other people that they can really like who they can be close with and count on,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
so that
definitely.
the next 10 years we don't see another statistic that men have nobody, they don't have any deep connections with anybody, they don't have real relationships and friendships, and we can start building real deep connections. I see this being a global thing,
It,
something that all across the 50 states, there's little reality check groups all around the country of
yeah.
like brotherhoods who are getting together, having organized events, and they can be as big as like we don't know how big they
Yeah.
can be. One of the future things we will be doing is not set up yet, but definitely something in 2025 we're going to be having like like not quarterly, but like maybe every 6 months we'll be doing a big trip somewhere
Yeah.
for everybody to come through. We have a lot of cool things planned, and everybody who we're working with is looking forward to it. They're giving us suggestions, and we want anybody involved to make this their thing. It's not my thing or your thing. It's their thing. Everybody who gets involved, there's a way that they can make it better.
Yeah.
And we want your suggestion, and we want, because we know a lot of you are already a part of us and are already a part of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So to make it better. But yeah, I guess what was
Like, this is a roundtable brotherhood where everybody's opinion, everybody's goals, everybody's ideas matter, right? And this isn't only just our thing. We're just founding it, we're starting it, but everyone else will help improve it, and they already have. And I actually wanted to mention a couple of success stories. We have a couple of guys who've lost tons of weight, for example, because we had the fitness challenge happening, right? That's on our Discord, and it's completely free.
and we're also putting together a school actually a program that we're going to be talking about how to develop
Exactly.
a aesthetic body as well. So
Yeah. So we'll have more in-depth like courses and programs on fitness or whatever it might be. But just like that little bit of some of the guys losing weight that they've been trying to lose weight for forever, but because now they have this accountability group, they have a brotherhood, they have people to connect with to talk about this, and to have those deep, meaningful relationships where they're like, okay, I have to do this, not just for me, but also because I made this commitment. They've seen growth from that, right? We have a couple of guys who've lost over 20 pounds in just the last month, right? And that's a very basic example of the very basic benefits that you get of being a part of a group like this. And from there, obviously the benefits just increase, right? Networking, connections, meeting the different kinds of people and seeing what's possible is just going to create more opportunities for your life. And I believe that this is going to only get better, right? We've been improving it since we've launched it, right? We've started working on this maybe like 4 months ago, but since we've launched it like a month and a half ago or something like that, we've been constantly improving. There's new things being added constantly. So maybe you're listening to this years from now, you're going to see a completely different reality check that's way more improved. There's a lot more benefits. So it's just down the line, and it's about whether you want to be a part of it or not. And a lot of the people that are already a part of it have seen that we've improved things based on their suggestions.
we had our event in New York. It was
Yep.
fantastic, right? I had, because of not being able to connect with people I wanted to, I had somebody from my projects who I used to live with invited to the event. I had a previous coworker, previous friend from a company I used to work with, a previous business opportunity. I had people come into this event from so many different facets of my life. It was so cool. It was like
Yeah.
it was this is better than your high school reunion.
Yeah.
This is reality check is going to be designed to be 10 times better than your random high school reunion that after 10, 15 years, you see people you don't care about and you don't
Yeah.
even know. You do your best to try to impress for no reason. Just imagine not losing those friends, but now having a reason to get together with those friends once again. Think about all the friendships you had that you wanted to get together with again. That you, hey, yo, remember my friend Jimmy who was really cool, and that guy, that you really had a
Yeah.
good relationship with. This is your opportunity if you're part of the reality check group to be able to get them to involve. Like, hey, bro, we used to love each other. We used to hang out with each other all the time. Guess what?
Yeah.
I'm part of this group now. We're having this event in the city. I would love to see you again. This would be a great way for us to reconnect and just, I don't know, grab a beer or whatever it is you want to do and just talk it out and,
Yeah.
just talk about our life. And guess what? Now you're touching base with that friend every once a month or twice a month, depending on the activities that you do. And now you're reconnecting and rebuilding those relationships that you had that were some of your best friends and some of the best people you knew, but you just didn't have a basis to connect with them because you didn't know how to, because you were never taught the two different structures of relationships and
Yeah.
learn how to now build it on the right one. You're trying to say? So
Yeah.
that's going to be one of the coolest things about reality check. That's what I wanted, because I was like, dude, I have so many good freaking people I know in so many areas and I want to bring them all together. And I
Yeah.
just but I just don't know how without like randomly. So I was like, okay, boom, that's
Yeah.
why this made sense. And now guess what? We went on. We were at Slayton NYC on Friday, and we saw so many people that we didn't see in so many years, and it was just so cool, bro. It was just like
Yeah.
it was such a good mesh. I can't even imagine what Miami's gonna be like. That
Definitely.
was so cool,
I,
you
I,
know?
I think I was telling you that like at that event in New York City, it's just like I almost got tired of reconnecting with people because I'm like, wow, like there's so many different people from so many different areas that got together that I lost touch with or maybe never had the chance to reconnect with. And then now we're all in one place and we're all connecting and networking. And it was cool to like introduce one group of friends that I had to another group of friends and them connect and see that there is potential benefits in their connections
Yeah,
together.
like didn't you have a friend who connected with somebody who like one friend who wanted to do a wedding and then he needed somebody who potentially can give him a loan for that. And then he
Yeah,
connected with one of our friends from another friend
yeah,
group and now they're connected. It's just really cool, you know, like
yeah,
and guess what? Now they're both excited to come to the next event because they're like, oh well, you know,
exactly.
it's just really cool. It's
Yeah,
just a really cool idea. I don't see any downside of what we're doing. If you see a downside of what we're doing, let us know so we can fix it. Because at
yeah,
the end of the day,
definitely.
this is going to be designed for the people, and it's going to be designed for it to grow. And I can honestly see a lot of the people doing whatever they're doing who are going to want to join what we're doing just because it's designed really for them. You know,
Yeah,
it's really designed for them. So we're excited
for
about it.
sure.
Why is it called the reality check? Right?
That's true.
Why
Yeah,
is this
actually,
called? You know, why is
right?
this called? And this might be something we put
I
in
feel like
like
that might be like the biggest question that people have
yeah.
right off the bat. And I haven't heard anybody really delve into that just yet. Like out of the people that we already have involved, like
Yeah.
the 50 plus people on the Discord, nobody has asked just yet. But I feel like
Yeah, so we'll probably throw this in the
it's important.
beginning of it,
Yeah,
but why is it called the reality check, right? The reason why I decided that it should be called the reality check is because more than anything, even though these are everything we're mentioning are fantastic serendipities, but I want everybody to get involved, and this is something that we're going to really cultivate. This is meant to be a totally transparent, real with each other type of brotherhood about anything that we need to cover in life. That's why we
yeah,
even have an anonymous chat on the Discord that,
yeah,
you know, for men who are struggling with your relationship, your marriage, your finance, whatever, you can anonymously write in your issue and somebody of caliber can be able to help you with that. And if you feel that you know somebody, you can write to them personally. But it's called a reality check because we want people to know that the world that you live in today is, you know, for the most part, everything is designed in a flawed manner.
yeah,
Is designed in a flawed manner. Is designed in a way that is stealing from the real truth of way that life should be and making you live in this false reality. Especially
yeah,
like I mean, if you think about social media, it's a false reality. False people, you know, showing rented cars about their lifestyle, showing rented relationships, rented everything. You have, you know, fake teachers who
yeah,
teach about stuff and they don't have their personal life is trash, but they have no real backing to it. You don't even know who they are. You know, you get these sponsored videos about who the heck is this guy, and then you find out about their life and their life is screwed up, right? So I wanted the reason why it's called the reality check is because we wanted everybody here to see this is gonna be your reality check, right? You get involved in this brotherhood, you're not gonna get this random fake lifestyle thing that you see. You're going to get real relationships, real friendships, real advice about life, real opportunities that are going to take you forward if you so choose. Okay. And that's the main reason that I decided to say, hey, listen, it should be called the reality check because for me, it was my reality check.
yeah,
It really was. Like, I was like, when I was driving in the car that day, I'm like, it's my reality check. I'm like, yo, my life is good, but I'm like, it could be better.
yeah,
And I'm like, but I don't have the association to make it better. And I'm not getting involved in any association that's designed to make me buy or sell or do something specific or some sport or some random thing to build a community around. I didn't want to do that. I want a community to be built around a real life, like real
yeah,
life, not
yeah,
just activity life,
yeah.
real life, you know?
Instead of being
And
shallow, deep,
yeah,
and actually
deep,
meaningful. Yeah,
deep, real relationships, real lifestyle, real connections. And I was like, this is a reality check. Like for me, in my mind, I was like, it's
yeah,
my reality check. It was my reality check. And I was like, I think that's what it should be called.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
why it's
It
called
just made sense. Yeah,
and this is why it's the reality check. And last but not least, right? I wanted to give a little story about like what this can be for anybody, whether it's you listening to this or somebody you know who's listening to this, right? A story about how the reality check is going to be designed to change your life, right? So let's say there's a 17-year-old kid, no job, no lifestyle, just like not just watching YouTube videos, comes across the reality check on Instagram, sees the page, like some of the things that we're talking about. They see fantastic, like, you know, quotes and things that they're excited about. And they're like, oh, wow, I can connect with these guys, right? They see that we're connected on Discord. Well, they like to play video games. What 17-year-old guy doesn't like to play video games?
Yeah.
He gets on Discord. He knows about us. He sees that we're part of the, that we play games sometimes, but at the same time, every week, if you're part of our
Discord.
if you're part of our Discord, you're expected. It's part of like it's like part of your commitment that you're going to be putting your goals every week. You're going to be mentioning about like basically what you're trying to do, and we give you. We're not going to say what because you need to join the Discord, but we're going to give you the areas in life that you need to be able to set goals on and be able to write about every single week, so you can start sharing with your brother. Now he starts sharing that, and he's 17, never did this before. Nobody ever told him. He wasn't raised in the way that told him how to do this,
Yeah.
and now he's bettering his life. He's like setting goals in specific areas, and now he starts coming to the events, and he's like, oh wow, like he started meeting some people. He started meeting you. He started meeting some of the good people we have involved, and now he's getting ideas on how to get his life better because of this association. He just went to one of our networking events,
Yeah.
some networking event in a restaurant somewhere, and just hanging out with some guys, and he really got influenced by some person there.
Yeah.
And because of that influence, he decides to look for a specific type of job. And now he gets that job, right? Now, 2, 3 months go down the line, he's still coming to these events, okay? And he's starting to get some money now. He's learning because he learned from your budgeting course about how to put some money together. And now he wants to start a business idea. He doesn't know what, he's not sure yet, but he keeps on coming to these events. And now he meets multiple different people who are running opportunities, who have different businesses and he says, this guy resonates with me the most. And then
No.
he starts following either learning from him or start working with him if he has an opportunity. But now he starts getting into business, right? And now he's young, getting into business, has a good job. His life's starting to roll out. Now he's 18, 19 years old. It's been a year, he's been involved. Now he gets in a relationship because he's bettering his life. Now he's more attractive, right? Because we're going to talk a lot about that too. We're going to talk a lot about how to be a man that a real woman wants, right? Not a man that that just knows how to get a chick, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. But anyway, so he's learning about being a real man. Now he gets into a relationship, and he's like, okay, well, now I'm in a relationship. Besides just going to the movies and eating popcorn every Saturday and thinking that my relationship is going to flourish into a fantastic marriage because I know how to have popcorn and go to the movies every Friday like most relationships do. He's hanging out with people who've built successful relationships in the past decade and beyond, and now he's learning from them. And guess what? He takes some of the courses that we have on our school about different simple fundamentals of relationships that most people do not know.
Yeah.
Like I have a talk and that's going to be on the emotional bank account. Most people don't even know about that.
Yeah.
They have no idea about what an emotional bank account is. I'm talking about very successful men. People, financially successful men have no idea. And I know this because I've had conversations with them. So I'm like, and I have these conversations. I'm like, wow, you know nothing about this, bro. It's kind of sad, right? But anyway, he learns about that, learns about XYZ. Now he's building a good relationship. And guess what? Now he's in his 20s. He gets married. He starts getting his life right. So you see like the unfolding. And while all this time, even though he's in his early 20s, he's had relationships for the past 4 or 5 years with the reality check brothers and different people. And guess what? Now he travels around the world, does his thing. And guess what? Everywhere he goes around the world, there's a little group, a little reality check group for, not little, because they're going to be big, honestly, by this point. But there's a place that he can go to because he's connected with our social media. He's connected with everywhere. And there's different events he can go to. So he sees that somebody in Utah is going, the reality check brotherhood in Utah is going skiing on the 25th because it's on our page. Now he goes with them over there, meets another group of people. You get what I'm trying to say? Like he's connected with this brotherhood, and because of that, he is getting so much better in life in many areas, and he's also enjoying a lot of fun activities, doing a lot of things, and his life is just shaping out to be so much better than it was if he did not have this, and he's getting so much value out of it. And there's no manipulation involved because all the decisions he made, nobody enforced him or even made him try to make any decision. Every opportunity, every job, every anything that he did was a choice, right? It was a choice that wasn't pushed upon him because it was a community, right? And the community doesn't have one pool, it doesn't have one opportunity. It's hundreds, not thousands of opportunities involved. You get me? So,
and he had the right tools to create the success that he wanted for himself. It's self-imposed in a way. Definitely, that's a beautiful vision for the success that we can see in this group.
So that is basically, anything else you want to, and we should wrap it
that's
up.
pretty much it. I think we should just wrap this up here, and we'll see you guys at the next podcast.
I mean, if
And
you liked anything you saw here, definitely like,
yeah,
subscribe to the page. You're gonna see a lot of stuff, a lot of more good podcasts come out like this. We're gonna have guest speakers all the time. It's not
for
just gonna be
sure.
me and you. I guarantee
Yeah,
you that.
definitely.
I know that you're not used to that probably, but this podcast is gonna have different people, different successes, and we're gonna be the main purpose of this podcast. So we're gonna really touch and dive deep on like men topics and topics that most
Yeah,
people are not talking about out there in society, because society has their own way of influencing people, and we're gonna have our own way of influence people that will really better their lives here. So
yeah,
hopefully you stick around. Hope you liked what you saw here. If you did like it, somehow reach out to us. Let us know that you liked what we wrote, that what we did over here,
yeah,
and just share with anybody you know. And we see this thing going places, and we know that you're gonna be a part of it. You're gonna like what we're doing, and come check us out. It doesn't hurt to check us out and see what we're doing. And
definitely.
if you don't like it, let us know how we can make it better, because it's gonna be designed for you. So with
Yeah,
that, until next time, guys.
peace.
Peace.